My name is Bailey Mitchell, and this is what I learned in middle school. Mr. Oni was my science teacher. In his class, we learned about evolution, roller coasters, plate tectonics, forces, rocks and minerals, and space. During the evolution chapter, I learned how everything on Earth is evolving slowly over time and how evolution works. During the roller coasters chapter, I learned about positive and negative G's and how roller coasters are set up and all the different forces that work with them. During the plate tectonics chapter, I learned how the Earth is split into plates and what happens because of them. I learned that forces act on us every day and that we use forces for different things. I learned that there are all kinds of different rocks and minerals and their characteristics. And I learned about our solar system and everything that's in it. At the end of the roller coaster chapter, the 7th and 8th grade classes took a trip to Cedar Point. Miss Stoneham is my crazy reading teacher. In her class, we did the Christmas Around the World project. During that project, I learned that cultures all over the world celebrate Christmas in different ways and that they're all unique. We also read the book You Don't Know Me, which taught me about child abuse. And we read the book Night, which showed me just how cruel the Nazis really were to the Germans, and a first-hand point of view of what happened inside the concentration camps. Mr. Bedingfield was my 21st century teacher. In his class, I learned about ScreenFlow, and during that, I learned that ScreenFlow can be used to record anything that you're doing on your computer, and that you can use it to make videos to show people how to do exactly what you're doing as you're doing it. We also learned about Skype and Google Hangouts, which are video chat programs that you can use to chat face-to-face with anybody around the world. And probably the most important thing that we learned about is sentence structure. Sentence structure is the different types of sentences, like compound and complex sentences, and all types of different conjunctions. We also learned how to set up your sentences and how important they are to writing.
This is my blog that I had to design and post on regularly in Mr. Bedingfield's class. We had a lot of different assignments in class that had to do with it. One thing we had to do on the blog is the 9 weeks vocabulary. We got 5 new words each week for the whole 9 weeks. Another thing we had to do is post video responses about videos we watched in class. We also had to post scope essays that we did in class. We posted class projects and projects from other classes on our blogs. Our blog posts would count for a big part of our grades.
Mrs. Oni was my fun multimedia teacher. In her class, we learned about iMovie, and I learned that iMovie is used for making short trailers and movies using your own pictures, videos, and music. We also learned how to use Adobe Photoshop Elements, and I learned a lot of different things, like how to copy and paste your face onto different pictures to make it look like you're actually in the pictures. I learned about blur and clone stamping as well, and color replacement. My favorite thing that we learned during Adobe Photoshop Elements was color replacement. These are a few pictures that I edited using all of the different tools that we learned about while using Adobe Photoshop Elements. Miss Turner was my awesome math teacher. In her class, we learned a lot of different things, but my 3 favorites were two-way frequency tables, scatter plots, and slope-intercept form. Two-way frequency tables are tables that show several different sets of data in one table, and scatter plots are graphs that are set up as coordinates on a coordinate plane for your data. Slope is the steepness of a line, and slope-intercept form is the equation that goes with it that's written as y equals mx plus b. Mr. Sturzinger is my hilarious social studies teacher. In this class, we learned about the Civil War, which is the North and South fighting over slavery, and the Revolutionary War.
The American Revolutionary War was a war between the Americans, who came over from England and wanted to start their own country, and the British, who wanted to keep control over the Americans. The British and the Americans fought long and hard, but eventually the Americans came out on top and we became our own new independent nation.
Mrs. Jackson is my amazing choir teacher. Even though I'll have her all through high school, she's already taught me so much. Probably the most important thing that she has always stressed to us is that you shouldn't settle for less than perfect and that you can always do better. Our 8th grade volleyball season didn't go as perfect as we wanted it to, but it still taught me that I have to keep a positive attitude no matter what. We had a great 8th grade basketball season. We finished 4th in the conference, and this season has taught me that you have to not give up on what you want and that you have to work hard to get it. This is everything that I've learned in middle school.